Long ago, under the golden sun of ancient Egypt, a story of hope began. The land was magnificent, with grand pyramids touching the sky, but for the Hebrew people, it was a land of slavery. They toiled endlessly, building great cities for a powerful ruler, the Pharaoh. But Pharaoh's power was matched by his fear. He saw the Hebrews growing in number and strength, and a terrible thought took root in his mind. What if they rebelled? His fear turned into a monstrous decree. He commanded that every baby boy born to the Hebrews was to be cast into the waters of the Nile River. It was a time of immense sorrow and despair for a people who had already lost so much. In the midst of this darkness, a flicker of defiance was lit. A Hebrew woman, Jochebed, gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. As she held him, her heart swelled with a love so fierce it defied Pharaoh's cruel law. She saw not just a child, but a promise. She knew she could never let him go. For 3 precious months, she kept her baby hidden, her home filled with whispered lullabies and silent prayers. Every cry was a risk, every day a victory. But babies grow, and their voices grow with them. The secret was becoming impossible to keep. With a heart breaking under the weight of her love and fear, the mother devised a desperate, brilliant plan. Her hands, calloused from labor, now worked with delicate purpose. She wove a small basket from reeds, sealing every gap with tar and pitch until it was a tiny, waterproof ark. She lined it with soft cloth, creating a safe, floating cradle for her son. Then, under the cover of the reeds along the Nile's edge, she gently placed the basket in the water. She was entrusting her most precious treasure to the currents of fate and the watchful eyes of God. Her daughter, Miriam, a brave young girl, hid nearby, her gaze fixed on the little vessel, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. As fate would have it, a royal procession soon arrived at that very spot. It was Pharaoh's own daughter, coming to the river to bathe. Her eyes, accustomed to the splendor of the palace, were drawn to the unusual sight: a small basket nestled among the reeds. Curiosity piqued. She instructed her handmaiden to fetch it. When she lifted the lid, the sound of a baby's cry met her ears. She saw the helpless infant, and her heart was instantly filled with compassion. She knew immediately that he was one of the Hebrew children, a child condemned by her own father's decree. But in that moment, royal duty gave way to human kindness. She decided to save him, to raise him as her very own son. Seeing her chance, little Miriam bravely stepped out from her hiding place. With a trembling voice, she approached the most powerful woman she had ever seen. "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" she asked. The princess, seeing the wisdom in the suggestion, agreed. And so, in a beautiful twist of fate, Miriam ran to fetch her own mother. The princess, unknowingly, handed the baby back into the arms of his true mother, paying her to care for her own child until he was old enough to be brought to the palace. When the boy had grown, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter as promised. She formally adopted him and gave him a name that would echo through history: Moses, which means drawn out of the water. He grew up in the lap of luxury, a prince of Egypt, yet the love of his family and the truth of his heritage were seeds planted deep within his heart. He was an Egyptian prince with a Hebrew soul, destined to one day lead his people out of bondage and into freedom. The story of Moses' birth is a powerful reminder. It shows us that even when things seem hopeless, acts of courage, glimmers of compassion, and unwavering faith can pave the way for miracles. A mother's desperate love, a sister's quiet bravery, and a princess's unexpected kindness all converged to save one small child. A child who would grow up to change the world. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories of faith and courage. See you next time.